I was just thinking about baptismal questions. What you're told about the organization prior to joining. And I was wondering why disfellowshipping and reproof, public reproof, things like that aren't explained very well, or at least in my case, wasn't explained very well. And in anyone else's case that I know of, it wasn't explained very well. Why aren't those things explained more so prior to a person joining the organization or getting baptized? So, of course, one of the baptism questions is, do you understand that you are joining Jehovah's spirit directed organization? And of course, the person yells yes. But does that person have any idea, what exactly they're being bound to is the question. And disfellowshipping is so serious, it is really the New Testament version of stoning. The New Testament version of stoning. It is really the strongest form of discipline the congregation imposes. And the thing is that you are made subject to it after baptism. So is it even talked about though? And shouldn't it be talked about before you join an organization? I know most religious organizations that I know of, for example, Catholics, what they do when a person is excommunicated, I believe, is that the person can no longer take part in any of their services. They can't have any privileges, nothing like that. However, they don't go so far as to say that family members can no longer really have the function of being a family anymore. They don't go so far as to, let's say you're walking down the aisle in Walmart and you see another witness coming the opposite way, that brother you will probably turn around and go the other way and go down some other aisle. They don't go to the furthest extreme possible. But let's look at one group that does, and that is the Amish. The Amish practice disfellowshipping or shunning. I don't know exactly what they call it, but they practice the same thing. Now, do they have anything in place so that a person fully understands the step that they're making before they are already bound to it? Well, they have something. I don't know if this is an English word. I don't think it is. It's called Rumsika or something like that. And what it is a time frame that all of their young people, teens, are given to be able to gain experience, learn about themselves, and understand what's out there in the world, and then be able to make a decision as to how ready they are to make the serious step of baptism. And the question is, if that organization, the Amish organization, understands that people need to be aware before making a serious step like that, because they have such strict disciplinary measures that can be taken, why isn't the Jehovah's Witnesses have that? Because you have children getting baptized that you full well know don't understand what disfellowshipping is. And it is applied to children, because I've heard of people who were 16, 17, and disfellowship. Like their parents don't speak to them, and not only do their parents not speak to them, guessing that the husband in the household wants to be able to have some privileges himself, so he probably just wants the child out the house. It's that serious. So those are things that I think need to be explained, especially to youth prior to baptism. That mommy and daddy may not speak to you anymore, or won't speak to you anymore if you get disfellowship. Do you know what disfellowshipping is? Allow them to answer that question, yay or nay. If they don't, then explain that to them fully. And if you don't explain that to them, how is it right then for them to be bound to something that wasn't explained to them prior to them joining the organization? Anyone else joining any organization, they want to know, if not every little detail, the major things involved. So if you go ahead and sign your name on a dotted line that you've joined, I don't know, some organization, and then after you sign, they say, well, if you miss such and such a many days, we're going to bill you $5,000. You're going to be like, what? You didn't say anything about that. I'm not going to be bound to something that was never explained to me prior to me joining. And I think the same principle applies. I don't think that the idea is totally foreign to people prior to baptism, but I don't think it's explained very well either. And something that serious needs to be thoroughly explained so that everyone in the family understands what's involved. And that's it. Ex-Bethelite, Wallkill Bethelite signing out.